Hello dear students, today I will discuss part 1 of Unit 4 Chemical Kinetics. In previous lecture I discussed about Unit 1 Solid State, Unit 2 Solution and Unit 3 Electrochemistry. Here I will discuss Unit 4 Chemical Kinetics out of 16 units. Chemical kinetics help us to understand how chemical reactions occurs. This branch told you the speed of a reaction. So before starting this chapter, we have to know that on which topic we have to focus in board examination. CBSE allotted syllabus for every subject, and in this subject some chapters are given, and you know that every chapters have some topics. So here I will discuss about the topics you have to know for board examination. The topics are rate of reaction, that is speed of reaction. It may be in term of average rate, and instantaneous rate. Average rate are defined for a time interval it may be from 10 minutes to 20 minutes, 20 minutes to 40 minutes, like that. But instantaneous rate may be defined at a particular instant of time, that may be at 90 seconds, maybe at 20 seconds, maybe at 40 minutes, like this. Then factor affecting rate of reaction, it may be concentration, temperature, catalyst. Then order and molecularity of a reaction, then rate law and specific rate constant. It is also known as velocity constant and the symbol is K. Then integrated rate equation. Here you have to learn the sum formula, and half-life. This half-life you have only know about for zero order and first order reaction. Then concept of collision theory. About this concept, no mathematical treatment is required. Only elementary idea should be given here. And lastly, activation energy and Arrhenius equation. This is the most important topics of the chapter. From this topic, one numericals is asked in the board examination. So now here we have to discuss about the rate of reaction, type of chemical reactions. Before starting the chapter, first of all we have to know about the chemical kinetics. Before that, we also have to know about the thermodynamics. This branch of chemistry you had learned in class 11th, unit 6. So thermodynamics help us to predict the feasibility of a chemical reaction by using delta G as a parameter. This I have told you. And also electrochemistry, a delta G should be negative for any spontaneous reaction. Here also you have to know about this, कि this branch of science only help you to know the feasibility of a reaction, that is, the reaction should take place or not in given set of condition. But this branch cannot tell everything about the rate of reaction, that is speed of reaction. That means in how much time the reaction is completed. That's why the rate of chemical reactions is studied in another branch of chemistry called as chemical kinetics. So these two branches, chemical kinetics and thermodynamics, are interconnected to each other. Thermodynamics only help you to find the feasibility of a reaction in terms of delta G. Here one formula I have given you, delta G equal to delta H minus T delta S. Delta H is known as change in enthalpy. It may be exothermic or endothermic. For endothermic, the value of delta H should be positive, and for exothermic reaction, the value of delta H should be negative. Delta S, in this formula, it defines the entropy. Entropy means randomness. If we move from solid to gas, randomness increases. That's why we take in delta S value positive. And if we move from gas to solid, entropy decreases. In that condition, we have taken delta S equal to negative. By this way, we find the value of delta G. If delta G is negative, the reaction is spontaneous. If it is positive, the reaction is non-spontaneous. And if delta G should be 0, in that condition, there is an equilibrium. So now we have to define what is chemical kinetics. That is the branch of physical chemistry deals with the rate of chemical reactions, including the effect of temperature, pressure, concentration of reactant or product, etc., or on the rate and the mechanism by which the reaction takes place. That means by the speed and which pathway the reaction should be completed. Now dear students, after studying this part, that is part 1, you will be able to know type of chemical reactions, then define rate, that is speed, velocity of a chemical reaction. Then you will be able to define the average and instantaneous rate of a reaction. Then you will be able to express the rate of a reaction in term of change in concentration of either of the reactants or product with time. And lastly, you will be know to distinguish between elementary and complex reaction. And the questions based on this topic are also discussed here. So now starting from chemical reactions. Type of chemical reactions. On the basis of rate, that is speed, the chemical reactions are broadly divided into three categories. First category, fast or instantaneous reactions, or it is also known as ionic reactions. So how can you define about this? The chemical reactions which completes in less than 10 to the power minus 16 to 10 to the power minus 14 second, that is time, is known as fast reaction. It is practically impossible to measure the speed of such reaction because as the reactant brought together, the reaction take place at that instant of time. Some examples are given here. Examples: ionic reactions, that is all the ionic reactions are known as fast reactions. Organic substitution reaction is also example of fast or ionic reactions. In organic substitution, where the positive negative charge are seen, in that condition, this also behave as fast reaction. Some examples are given here. When NaCl and AgNO3 are brought together, it will give the precipitate of AgCl and liberate also NaNO3. This reaction is also known as double displacement reaction. Since here PPT is formed of AgCl, that's why the reaction is also known as precipitation reaction. One more reaction to define the fast reaction: HCl, a strong acid, and base, a strong base, NaOH. When reacted, it will give salt and water. The salt is neutral because both parts of reactant are strong. That's why this reaction is also known as neutralization reaction. So these are some common examples of fast reactions. So again, learn it. Those reactions which completed in 10 to the power minus 16 to 10 to the power minus 14 second, that is less than 1 picosecond time, is known as fast reaction. So that's why we cannot practically measure the speed of such reaction. Second reaction, slow reactions are also, you can call it very slow reactions. So these reactions are extremely slow and takes months together to show any measurable change. It may be also take a day, whole day, to show any measurable change. It is also difficult to study the kinetics of such reactions. Some common examples of slow reactions are given. Rusting of irons. Rusting of irons I explained in electrochemistry in the topic corrosion. It is a slow reaction. Transformation of diamond. Diamond change into graphite, but it takes time. That's why it is also a slow reaction. Reaction of oxalic acid with acidified KMnO4 at room temperature. This is a part of titration. Reaction between hydrogen and oxygen, carbon and oxygen, at room temperature are also slow reaction. One reactions are given below. Carbon plus O2 at 25 degrees centigrade react to give CO2. That reaction takes a month to complete at room temperature. That's why these reactions are known as slow reactions. And for this slow reaction, we cannot measure the change so easily. That's why this type of reactions also do not take part to measure the rate in chemical kinetics. Third and most important reactions for this branch of chemistry, that is moderately slow, are molecular reactions. That means the molecules are reactant in that reaction is known as molecular reactions. The chemical reactions which are intermediate between slow and fast reactions are called moderately slow reactions. That is, these reactions neither so fast neither so slow. They are intermediate between fast and slow reactions. These reactions proceed with a measurable rate at a normal temperature. That means we can measure the rate of these type of reactions. Generally, these reactions are studied in chemical kinetics. Mostly these reactions are molecular in nature, as I have told you. Some examples are given here. First, decomposition of hydrogen peroxide. These reactions I also told you in class 11th, unit 9, hydrogen. H2O2 break into water and O2. This is also type of disproportionation reaction. So nearly all reactions which you have studied are already studied or come in this chapter. Second, hydrolysis of an ester. This reaction also come in the further chapter. Here, an ester in presence of base break into alcohol and sodium salt of acid. Third, inversion of cane sugar. C12H22O11 is the example of cane sugar, sucrose. Upon hydrolysis, produce one molecule of glucose and one molecule of fructose. Both have same formula, but structures are different. That's why the name are also different. So these type of reactions are known as molecular reactions and moderately slow reaction, and we can measure the rates at normal temperature for these type of reactions. In this chapter, mostly we have to focus on this type of reactions. Now, rate, that is also known as speed or velocity of a chemical reaction. It can be defined as the change in concentration of a reactant or product in unit time. The rate may be defined in terms of decrease in concentration of reactant or increase in concentration of product. Like this, the rate equal to decrease in concentration of reactant divided by time taken, or increase in concentration of product divided by time taken. As you know that as the reaction proceed, reactant amount decreases but the amount of product increases. So rate can be measured in terms of decrease in concentration of the reactant or increase in concentration of the product. Now one more important things you have to know about this, and you have to learn it also. Its unit is mole per liter, that is concentration molarity divided by time taken. Time may be in second, may be in day, may be in hour, may be in year. Here no requirement of to change in time, but recall about the Faraday law. In that formula the time should be always taken in second, but here no need to take the time in second. Whatever the time is given, you can write the answer in that respect. Next, the rate of reaction is always positive. Next point you have to know, in gaseous reactions, when the concentration of gases is expressed in terms of their physical pressure, partial pressure, then the units of the rate equation will be atm per second, atm time inverse, either bar second inverse as the concentration taken. We write the unit mole per liter time inverse, but in term of pressure it should be written in term of atm or bar time inverse. Now here two graphs are shown. Graph A indicate the concentration of reactant, that is decrease in concentration of reactant, and graph B indicate the increase in concentration of product. So here two type of rates you have to define, average rate and instantaneous rate. Average rate, the rate of reaction measured over a long time interval, is called rate of reaction. It is equal to delta R by delta T as shown in the figure A and B. The delta are used to show the average rate of reaction and small d are used to show the instantaneous rate of reaction. So look the graph A, the graph drawn between the concentration of reactant and what's the time. At time t1 the concentration C1, at time t2 the concentration C2. So for this the R average is equal to minus sign indicate the decrease in concentration only. It has no mathematical relationship. A negative only indicate the decrease in concentration, but the rate is always positive. So delta R by delta T, here square bracket indicate molar concentration. Delta means change, so change from final concentration to initial concentration, that is T2 minus C1 divided by T2 minus T1 in that time interval. Similarly for instantaneous rate, this rate can be defined at a particular time instance, that is at a particular time instant. Just you have to draw a tangent at that point and you can find the slope. So R instantaneous equal to, here you have to use small d to show the instantaneous rate, small dr by dt, this equal to negative slope equal to tan theta. Now come on the product concentration versus time graph. Look again here, T1 concentration of C1, at T2 concentration C2, the average rate equal to delta P by delta T, Here the sign is positive because the concentration of product increases. So delta P divided by delta T is equal to C2 minus C1. Again final minus initial divided by T2 minus T1. Similarly, at any instant of time, again draw tangent and find the slope. So R instantaneous equal to small d P divided by dt. This will give the positive slope. So this graph is also important to you. Now dear students, consider a common hypothetical reactions to explain the rate of reaction. A change into B. Here A the reactant and B is the product. So for this you have to write the R average and rate average equal to decrease in concentration of A divided by time taken. That is R average equal to minus delta A by delta T. That is A2 minus A1 divided by T2 minus T1. Here negative sign indicate the decrease in concentration of reactant. Now you can also write in the term of product like this: R average equal to increase in concentration of B divided by time taken. This equal to R average equal to plus delta B by delta T, that is B2 minus B1 divided by T2 minus T1. B2 is final concentration and B1 is initial concentration. Now note here, a negative sign indicate decrease in concentration of reactant and positive sign indicate increase in concentration of product. That means here negative and positive sign have no mathematical issue. This only indicate the decrease or increase in concentration of product. So these are about the average rate. Now next, instantaneous rate, that is R instant. It is the rate of reaction when the average rate is taken over a very small time interval. It is equal to dr by dt as shown in the figure above A and B. So this I also shown in the graph A and B. How can calculate the instantaneous rate at a particular time instant. Next heading, which you have to know, expression of the rate. How you express the rate of reaction. So for this I have taken a general example of a general reactions AA plus BB. This will gives CC plus DD. Here small ABCD are stoichiometric coefficient. Now rate of disappearance of A is equal to minus dA by dt. Here the stoichiometric coefficient are divided in the rate term. That means it should be A by A, 1 by A. Rate of disappearance of B equal to minus dB by dt here divided by small b. Rate of appearance of C equal to plus dC by dt. Here C the stoichiometric coefficient, that's why we divide by the C. Then rate of appearance of D equal to plus d divided by dt. Here small d indicate the stoichiometric coefficient of product D. In this type of reactions, the stoichiometric coefficient are used in the dividend form. That is, here the stoichiometric coefficient are divided the concentration term. Now again note the positive sign show that concentration of C and D increases with time, and negative sign indicate the concentration of A and B decreases with time. Now thus the rate of general reactions A plus B, this will give C plus D. We can write like this: R average equal to, in the term of average rate, delta A by delta T equal to minus delta B by delta T equal to plus delta C by delta T equal to plus delta D by delta T. The negative sign indicate the decrease in concentration of reactant, and positive sign indicate the increase in concentration of product. Or you can write like this: R instantaneous equal to minus dA by dt equal to minus dB by dt equal to plus dC by dt plus equal to plus d by dt. Here stoichiometric coefficient for reactant and product is 1, so that's why not written here. Now similarly for the reactions, you have to write the rate instantaneous, either average. So here given instantaneous rate, here 5 Br minus are given, so that's why we divide by the 5, Br3 minus given 1, H plus given 6, stoichiometric coefficient, that's why divided by 6, Br2 given 3, that's why divided by 3, water given 3, stoichiometric coefficient, that's why divided by 3. So we can write the reaction like this: minus 1 by 5 dBr minus dt equal to minus dBrO3 minus dt equal to minus 1 by 6 dH plus divided by dt equal to plus 1 by 3 dBr2 divided by dt equal to plus 1 by 3 d water divided by dt. A square bracket indicate the molar concentration, that is molarity, mole per liter. Now rate law, rate equation, rate expression. So rate law is the expression in which reaction rate is given in term of molar concentration of reactants, with each term raised to some power which may or may not be same as the stoichiometric coefficient of the reacting species in a balanced chemical equation. Now for example, for a reaction 2NO plus O2, this will gives 2NO2. The rate are written like this: rate equal to K NO power 2 O2 power 1. Here the power match with the stoichiometric coefficient. Second example, for reaction 2NO2 2N2O5 will gives 4NO2 plus O2. The rate of reaction term of reactant equal to rate equal to K N2O5 की power 1. Here the power do not match with the stoichiometric coefficient of N2O5. So that's why the rate of reaction may or may not be same has power as the stoichiometric coefficient. That means the power should match or not with the stoichiometric coefficient in the balanced chemical equation. Now in case of gas 2NO plus H2, this will gives N2O plus water. So for gas the rate should be written in term of like this: pressure, the rate equal to P NO का whole twice की power 2 and pH2, that is the rate equal to K is the K is the rate constant, P NO की power 2 and pH2. Then in term of pressure you have to write the rate like this: and in term of concentration you have to use square bracket. Now difference in experimental rate equation and theoretical rate equation. Experimental means this you have to know from the given data, but theoretical rate equation you have to find the looking the balanced chemical equation. So here I will differentiate about the experimental rate equation and theoretical rate equation. How you can know that the reaction is experimental or theoretical. There one reaction is given N2 plus 2O2. This will gives N2O4. These reactions are also helpful in the P block elements. Now theoretical rates equal to K N2. Here the stoichiometric coefficient 1, that's why power 1, and O2 the stoichiometric coefficient 2, that's why power is 2. So now the order of reaction for this, the total number of powers. So 1 plus 2 equal to 3, that is third order reaction. So by seeing the balance equation, we find the theoretical rate order third, in which the rate of reactions depend upon the first power of N2 and second power of O2. Now if you go in the mechanism, so we find the reaction like this: N2 plus half O2, this will gives N2O, this is the first reaction. N2O plus half O2, this will gives 2NO, this is also first reaction. 2NO plus O2, this will gives N2O4 slow reaction, and this is the rate determining step. So now experimental rate we can write like this: rate equal to K NO e power 2 O2 e power 1. Again the order of reaction is third, but the power of reactant are changed. Here in theoretical rate of reaction, we find the rate of reaction depend second power of O2, but in theoretical it depend upon the first power of O2. Similarly, in theoretical rate of reaction depend upon the first power of N2, but in experimental rate of reaction depend upon second power of NO. So this is the basic difference between the experimental and theoretical rate equation. In this chapter we have to find the experimental rate of equation. Now consider a general reaction A plus BB, this will give CC plus DD. The rate equal to K A ki power A B ki power B in term of reactant. So this is known as theoretical rate equation, and rate equal to K A ki power M B ki power N. This is known as experimental rate equation. So now two cases are there. Case 1, if A equal to M, B equal to N. So this is known as elementary reaction, single step reaction. In case second, if A equal to M but B is not equal to N, or A equal to A is not equal to M and B equal to N, or A is not equal to M and B is also not equal to N. In this condition, the reaction is known as complex reaction, that is multi-step reaction. And these multi-step reactions, you have to find the slowest step will determine the rate of reaction. So like this you can also differentiate between the elementary reactions and complex reactions. Now elementary reactions are simple reactions. Reactions which get completed in one step is known as elementary reactions. Here one example is given: H2 plus I2, this will gives 2HI. Now complex reactions, reactions which take place in two or more steps is known as complex reactions. For example, oxidation of ethane to CO2 and water. As you know that ethane first of all oxidize into alcohol, then aldehyde, then acid, and then it convert into CO2 and water. So that's why the conversion of ethane take place in more than 2 steps. Hence, it is known as complex reaction. Now, dear students, question based on the above topics. Question number 1. What do you understand by the rate of reaction? So, how you write the answer? The change in concentration of any one of the reactants or product per unit time is termed as rate of reaction. Are you getting this? Question number 2. Why is it that instantaneous rate of reaction does not change when a part of reacting solution is taken out? So, are you getting the question? Okay. The question is talking about the instantaneous rate. So, this rate defined at the particular time interval, that is at a particular time instant. So, that's why there is no effect on the rate of reaction. The answer, instantaneous rate is measured over a very small time interval. Hence, it does not change when a part of solution is taken out. Question number 3. What is the rate determining step of a reaction? So, just I told you, the slowest step is the rate determining step. That means the reactant take part in the slowest step by seeing these reactant. You have to find the rate of reaction. Just I have told you in the difference between the experimental rate equation and theoretical rate equation. 4th question, what is the difference between the rate law and law of mass action? So your answer is, rate law is the experimental quantity, that is experimental law. But on the other hand, law of mass action is a theoretical law based on the balanced chemical equation. So this law of mass action you studied in class 11 chemical equilibrium. So again here, rate law is experimental law, but law of mass action is the theoretical law. You can also define like this. Now question number 5. For a reaction, the rate law is given here, rate equal to A and B की power half. Can this reaction be an elementary reaction? So we have to find the order of reaction. So power A की power 1 plus B की power 1 by 2. So this will give 3 by 2 order of reaction. The answer, for an elementary reaction, the order of reaction should be equal to molecularity. So first thing you have to know that the order of reaction should be equal to molecularity, and further molecularity should be integral, that is not in fraction. Here for the given reaction, order of reaction equal to 3 by 2, that is the fractional quantity. Since molecularity cannot be fractional, therefore for the given reaction, order is not equal to molecularity, and hence given reaction cannot be an elementary reaction. So by this way you can differentiate about the elementary and complex reaction. Now question number 6. Among the elementary process in the proposed mechanism of reaction, which is the rate determining step? So again the answer is, slowest step is the rate determining step. The question format is changed, but your answer is same again. The rate determining step is always slowest step. Question number 7. For the reaction given here, sucrose plus water in acidic medium break into glucose and fructose. So write the rate of reaction expression. So this also I have told you. So write the rate in terms of reactant and product. Here the reactant and product have same stoichiometric coefficient, that is 1. So no need to divide by any number. So here you can write like this, 1 by 1 you can write, either write d C12 H22O11 divided by dt equal to d by dt. This negative sign indicate the decreasing concentration of reactant. This equal to positive plus d C6H12O6 divided by dt equal to plus d C6H12O6 divided by dt. So by this way you have to write the rate expression for any given reaction. So this is most important aspect of this chapter. Now dear students, do all work in classwork copy, prepared a note with the help of PPT video. Stay safe, stay healthy and keep learning. Thank you dear students.